Welcome to the Path Plus Travel Podcast. This week we feature the Women's Care Center, and with us we have the Outreach Director, Emily Rose. Thank you for joining us today.
You are welcome. Yes, good morning.
We get to do this. We get to do this for the second time.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I don't know how we kicked things off the first time, but I've got a few questions for you, just kind of rapid fire. All right?
Great, let's hear it. I'm ready.
Morning or evening person?
Morning.
Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert.
Extrovert. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, let's see. Time travel.
Ooh, time travel.
Yeah.
All right. And this is true or false?
Okay.
So not this part. This part is true based upon Wikipedia.
Okay.
There are 272,000 individuals in St. Joseph County as of 2022.
Yep.
The Women's Care Center, one out of every two births,
Yep.
you guys provide services for.
Yes, that's right. Yep. Every 1 and 2 babies, every other baby born in St. Joseph County starts at Women's Care Center.
So tell us about Women's Care Center.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that amazing? So Women's Care Center was founded in 1984. So we are celebrating our 40th anniversary this year, which is phenomenal. We started in a little tiny blue house with barely discernible signage. And that first year we served 300 women. Today, we have 36 centers across 12 states in the nation, and we serve over 30,000 women annually. And our goal is to serve 100,000 women annually by 2032.
Okay, so pause right there.
Sure.
Year one, it was 600 women.
300 women that first year.
And now we're at how many?
Over 30,000.
And our goal is?
100,000 by 2032.
Oh my goodness.
It's fabulous growth. Yeah.
Now, all of us, has that been the trajectory over the last few years, or do we just have a strategic plan that we're going to hit 100,000 in 2032?
That is our strategic vision. That is the goal that we are working toward actively. And we have, programs set in place internally to ensure that we are continually moving forward, moving that.
Yeah.
Just keeping it going so that we hit our goals. And so far, we've been really successful with each year growing exactly how much we need to. Our plan is to open 2 centers at a minimum, 2 new centers every year to help us achieve that goal.
So you said it was founded 40 years ago.
40 years ago.
Let's talk about the founder.
Yes. So the founder is actually Dr. Janet Smith. She is, she was with the University of Notre Dame. I believe she's out in Texas now, but in 1988 or 1989, our current volunteer president, Ann Manion, joined the organization. And when Dr. Janet Smith left, Ann Manion took over, and she just made this thing explode. It is what it is today because of her. And she's a volunteer. So she has never, in over 35 years, taken home a paycheck. Not once.
And I'm guessing doesn't anticipate taking home a paycheck
Never
in the
will.
future.
Never will. And that's what's so special about it is this is something that it's bigger than a paycheck. It's not necessarily a job. It's a mission. It's this amazing organization that's greater than ourselves. And she recognizes that, and so she gives everything she has to ensure that this isn't something that's going to slowly trickle out and die off when our leadership goes away, and it's just going to keep on going. It's something that'll last forever, so we're building a legacy too.
So we've talked about just where the organization is going, where you're at today. Talk about just the services that you provide.
Yeah, that's great. So Women's Care Center is a nonprofit organization, and we serve pregnant women and moms and parents and children. We focus a lot on the pregnant women, and many of our clients are at-risk minority women who, couldn't find or afford care otherwise. And so they will come to us, and we will offer them free pregnancy testing, free ultrasounds, free confidential counseling, and then financial support, material support, educational support. We offer classes for pregnant women, on, being a parent for the first time and what does that look like? And how do you have a healthy pregnancy? What are you supposed to eat while you're pregnant? I hear all these things about, I can't eat sushi and I can't drink alcohol, but it's more than that. So how do I also just take care of my body while I'm pregnant to ensure that the baby will be healthy when the baby is born? And so we're here to really help give women the opportunity to have a healthy pregnancy and experience a really rich home life and be a nurturing, self-sufficient parent. And it's great. And we've also seen that the fetal infant mortality rate is decreasing too because of the services that we're offering to these women. We have noted that the more visits a woman makes to one of our centers, the better the birth outcomes are, and it's linked with increased birth weights. So a woman who makes one visit to our center, the average birth weight has been in the 6-pound range. And a woman who makes 7 or more visits to our center, which is really our goal, will have a baby who's over 7 pounds.
What an impact.
Yes.
So once the baby is born, what ongoing services do you provide, and how long can somebody tap into the resources here?
Yes. So our kind of motto is from cradle to kindergarten. And really it's more like from conception to kindergarten because she's coming here well before the baby is born. And after the baby arrives, we make a promise to her to walk with her every step of the way until she's sending that child off to kindergarten. And so after the baby is born, we'll continue to offer educational classes for mom, but then we also will offer her counseling services too, which is really important because that's, after the baby is born, that's when the hard work really begins for a woman. Because being a parent isn't easy, and it's good to find support. And, we offer these classes where women with shared life experience can come together and know that, hey, really, I'm not alone in this. There are all of these other women in the room that are doing the same thing that I'm doing, and we can do it together. And so we offer those services for the moms, but then we've also developed some really cool classes for the dads and just for the kids too. So we just introduced a new class called Strong Fathers, and it's taught by local dads in the community, and it's this series of classes that teaches dad the skills and tools to be a great parent. Lots of dads are good parents, but we're helping them see that you have what it takes to be a great parent. And then we offer classes for the kids, like Mommy and Me activities. Every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., I can hear from my office singing from our teacher and all of the little kids gathering together with the moms, and they're singing their good morning songs, and it is amazing. Tuesday is my favorite day of the week because it's when the classroom is filled with all these little babies running around. It's amazing. So but we also have things like the Crib Club, which is this little baby boutique, and it's located inside of every single one of our centers, and it's completely stocked with brand new high quality baby items. And when a woman or a dad, when a mom or a dad attends one of our classes, they will each earn a coupon, and they can save up their coupons so they can spend them right away, but they get to redeem them at the Crib Club. So you can save them up and you can get a car seat, or you could save them up and get a high chair or a crib. Like these things, and they're nice things that they wouldn't otherwise be able to get necessarily, or that they wouldn't be able to afford. So it's really, really special to be able to, help them out in that way and show them, like, you can do this. You can do this.
So in 12 states?
Yes.
Approximately how many employees? Any idea?
That is a good question. I believe that we have, I think that it's somewhere between 200 and 300, but I would have to check on that number.
So when I reached out, you were the chosen one.
Yes, that's me.
To have this interview, and you mentioned you said the word experience, and your experience and just the uniqueness of you being here is pretty special. Talk to us about why maybe you were the chosen one to be on this podcast.
So when I have a few guesses, but when we are looking to add someone to the Women's Care Center staff team, we want to make sure that they bleed pink. That's the thing. We bleed pink. That's our sort of internal motto. We bleed pink. And I have been told that there are few who bleed pink the way that I do. And it's because I love everything about the heart and soul and mission of Women's Care Center. I first became, really aware of it when I was probably 8 years old. And ever since then, I've had, several family members who have volunteered or worked with the center here. And I grew up just admiring them so much. Everything that they did, these important things that they're doing to improve the community. And it became my dream job. I knew when I was very young that I wanted to work here. And it became sort of my mission in life to eventually end up here. And now I am here and I love it. It couldn't be better. Every single day I get to wake up and do my dream job, and it's pretty fantastic.
Well, it's an incredible organization led by a very special individual. Tell me about Anne's impact on this organization, on women and families, and even on you.
Yes, Anne Manion is one of a kind. I mean, like I said earlier, she's our volunteer president, so she's doing all of this just because she loves the mission, and it means so much to her. And she is one of my life's role models, truly. And I wouldn't say that I have many, 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 but she's one of them. And she just lives her life the way I don't know if she would like me saying this, but she's a very saintly woman. She is. She cares so much about others, and she really wants to see this organization thrive. And what's really cool is she has an accounting background, so she was able to take a nonprofit organization and run it like a business, which is so exceptional. And it's one of a few things that really make us unique. I don't know if you know this, but most nonprofit organizations, they have I think it's around, a good one is they put 70% of their received income, their donations and all that, directly back toward the services that they're providing. Anne Manion has structured this organization so that we put 89% of every single dollar earned directly towards our mission, towards the women and babies that we are serving. 89 cents on every dollar.
Yeah.
That is a really impressive model that most probably could not replicate.
Yeah, very lean organization,
Yes.
And when you're laser focused on a mission and serving a need, I think it's easier to do that, but to actually do it,
I know,
it's astonishing.
it is.
Well, there's some uniqueness in how this organization fundraises, and I know you guys run a bingo night, which is special and unique in itself.
Yes.
And the MC for, I don't know if he's the MC for all of them most of them, is my friend Chuck Freeby. Yeah. And when I had asked Chuck his thoughts on Anne, her leadership, and also the Women's Care Center in general, this was his response. She's the closest person to a living saint.
Oh, see.
I've ever encountered, due to the number of lives saved. Incredible vision. She's not afraid to get her hands dirty and jump in and do the work that's needed at the center, such as moving furniture or sorting clothing. She's opened 34 of these, and while buildings have moved or consolidated, they've never had to leave a town or close up shop.
Right.
There are companies that would easily pay 7 figures for what she does, and she doesn't collect a dime.
That's right. That's
wow.
Right. Yes. I have always thought of Anne Manion as one of our greatest donors, to be honest, for that reason. I mean, like you said, many people in her position could be taking home 7 figures, and she's been doing this for over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
That she just puts so much time, love, energy, and compassion into it. And we are what we are today. We are across the nation and growing because of Anne Manion. It's exceptional.
Well, let's transition a little bit to you're the outreach director here. What does that mean? What's that role? What does that entail? What does your everyday look like?
Yes, so I am an outreach director. So I do outreach, basically. It's kind of like a development director, but it's more personal than that. I work to build relationships, friendships, genuine friendships with donors. Because, we have Ann Manion who's running the organization internally, but all of this truly, because we are a nonprofit, could not exist without our donors. It wouldn't be possible. We are completely 100% funded by donations. So if we didn't have exceptional donors who are really generous, we wouldn't be here, even with the amazing Ann Manion, because we rely on donations. So one of my biggest jobs is to connect with these donors, find new donors, and build friendships that last. And, really show them and help them see why Women's Care Center is so special and what makes us unique. Every other baby in St. Joe County starts at Women's Care Center. 1 of every 9 babies in the entire state starts with Women's Care Center.
Wow.
Which is amazing. And it really, it is. It's because of the donors. We couldn't do it without them. They completely fund everything, and the love and the time that they are also giving is unparalleled. They volunteer, they support in other ways other than financially, and it's just incredible and so humbling and so beautiful to witness. We're currently working on relocating a center in downtown LaPorte, and which is one of the counties where I'm an outreach director, is LaPorte County, and we're relocating one of our centers, and it has become a community project. It's not just like, a handful of donors are trying to get involved. It is the entire county is coming together, banding together to support the women and babies of the county, and it is astonishing. It is so beautiful because they care so much about them. Right. They're so important. They are ensuring the success of future generations. And that's important. And our donors know that. It's really beautiful for me to witness. I love it.
Well, it's a strong organization filled with strong employees and strong people. I know men work here, but it's filled with strong women. And it's clear that you fit that mold. So what is it over the course of your time that have allowed your life, that's allowed you to be where you're at today? So what would be your why?
My background, my why. Well, I am the 7th of 8 children. So I grew up in a big family, and I grew up with a lot of younger cousins. So my mom is the oldest of 10 kids. And so all of her younger siblings all have many, many children as well. And so I grew up loving babies. And that was so important to me, was to support babies. But importantly, my mom's family is filled with unbelievably strong women, who not only are strong mothers and beautiful mothers, they also work outside the home. And that was really, really great for me to see growing up, that you can be both. You don't have to pick between working and being a mom. You can do both. And with Women's Care Center, it's really special because, we make it so important to say that, being a mom is huge and it's hard. And so there's a lot of flexibility and support and, your child's sick, stay home with your baby. Family is so important. And so that was really attractive to me, to know that not only could I be a mom and a working mom, I would always have the flexibility to see, okay, what's most important right now? Is it being at home with my daughter because she's sick? Or she's great, she's at school and we've got this event, so I'm going to go here to Illinois or Florida for that. There's just so much flexibility, and Women's Care Center supports their employees so much. I feel so supported here. And I knew that was going to happen because I watched it happen with the people who have been here before me,
right,
that were my role models. And it's just great, yeah.
Well, so support and role models
Mm-hmm.
here. You just said in the last two sentences.
Yeah.
Who are some individuals that have impact? And I know, I mean, you guys have 200 to 300 employees,
Yes.
so there's tons of people impacting people. But
Uh-huh.
for you primarily,
Yes.
who have been the women
here at this organization?
Right.
So aside from the great Ann Manion, some of the women that have had a profound impact on me are Jenny Hunsberger. She is our vice president, and she is the director of all client care. So she oversees all of the counseling. She started out as a counselor, and she was one of the first role models I've ever had because I've known her my entire life. So she was the one when I was 8 years old, and I saw Jenny Hunsberger, the VP of Women's Care Center, and I said, I want to be like her.
Right.
So she has always been one of my role models. And then also Catherine Kelly. She is the executive national outreach director, and I have learned so much from her. You know, she just had her second baby this past fall, and the way that she balances work and life is so admirable. And I just strive to be more like her. And the way she connects with donors, I mean, she's just taught me so much, even just about how to build friendships and relationships with these donors that we have, while still placing importance on her family life too. She just, she gets it. She knows how it works, and I'm learning a lot from her.
So so donor relationships are important, and building those relationships, absolutely. What were some things that you've learned from her, things that you try and do to make it less transactional and just more relational within these relationships?
One thing that Catherine, one of the first things she taught me was pick up the phone. You know, don't send an email. That's transactional. Don't send a text message. Yeah, it's a little bit friendlier, you know. Pick up the phone and call them. See how they're doing. Oh, one of my donors just had their second grandbaby last month. Call them. See how those babies are doing. You know, it's a friendship. You know, you want to check in on your friends. It's what you do. It doesn't, and you're not always talking about Women's Care Center. I mean, a lot of times I'm just calling to check in on my donors and seeing how they're doing. You know, what's going on in your life now? One of them, one of our donors, and she's on my board for LaPorte County. She just had a baby about a week and a half ago. And yeah, you check in on them, you see how they're doing, because they're human beings too. You know, they're not just ATMs that are giving us money. They are so important to me personally, you know, not just to this organization, because they are my friends now. You know, I've built the relationships with them. I get lunch with them. We go out for coffee, and thanking them, knowing that like we really, really, really appreciate everything that they're doing, because they don't have to give it to Women's Care Center. There's so many other incredible organizations out there, and they chose us as one of them that they give to. And so I want them to know how much that means to me personally, you know, and professionally, but personally too. You know, they're the kind of people who will give to this organization that means so much to me. You know, I work here because this means so much to me, and they give to Women's Care Center because it means so much to them. So that means they're the kind of people that I want to spend time with.
Right.
We have this in common.
Well, a couple of fun questions as we start to wrap up here.
All right.
What purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted your life in the last 6 months?
Oh my goodness. That's a tough question. What have I spent $100 on or less? I'm going to go with a personal one. And I've done it probably 50 times in the last 6 months. But one of my favorite things to do is to go on mommy-daughter dates with my little girl. And she's 4. And she loves to go and get her nails done with me.
Oh, it's great.
And then we get Starbucks together. And the whole thing is less than $100.
Yeah.
But it's such amazing quality time, and she loves to sit in the chair and put her feet in the little foot bath, and she loves having her feet massaged, and just seeing the pure joy on her face and knowing that we get to do this together. It's so special, and it is so fun. And honestly, it's why I do it so often. I'm happy to spend, you know, less than $100 every month. So I get that with her. It's awesome. So that's what I would say.
If you had a billboard
Yeah.
with a message,
Okay.
what would the message be?
Personally or professionally?
Either. You can have 2 billboards if you'd like.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Let's see. A billboard with a message. You can do this.
You can do this.
Just generally, you can do this. Because there is support everywhere. Life is hard. It just is. Work is hard. Being a parent is hard. But you can do this. And that's a message that I tell myself too often. You can do this. Do you have time for a quick little story?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see, this was in 2017, September of 2017. It was over Labor Day weekend, and my husband and I were living in Japan at the time. And we went to go climb Mount Fuji. And we are climbing up this mountain. It's over 13,000 feet. We're climbing up this mountain. And I am just like, why did we do this? Why am I climbing up this dumb mountain?
Right.
What in the world made me wake up this morning and think, oh, I'm going to climb a mountain? And then I see these little 2-year-olds climbing the mountain, like going past me, and they're climbing the mountain. 2-year-olds. And so my entire motto, and my husband kept laughing at me, my entire motto for the rest of the climb up the mountain, even as it's getting freezing towards the top. Okay, if they can do this, I can do this. They're 2-year-olds climbing this mountain. You can do this. You can do this. And any time that I've encountered something hard in life, I just remind myself, you can do this. You know, when I went back to school while we were living in Japan to complete my degree, and I would set an alarm every morning that said, you don't have to do this. You get to do this. It's a choice, you know, what I was doing. And I live off of, motivational,
right,
whatever, mantras and stuff, but you can do this. That would be my billboard.
Yeah, so I was a college basketball coach for 11 years, and we would tell players my last few years at University of Cincinnati, don't listen to yourself, talk to yourself. So positive self-talk.
Yeah.
All right, last question.
Yeah.
What's the kindest thing someone's done for you?
Oh, that's great. That's a tough question. I feel like I've received a lot of kindness in my life. I'll do a professional one for this. When I found out that I was moving back to South Bend, Indiana, after my husband retired from the military, I knew that I wanted to work for a women's care center, right? I had wanted to since I was a little girl. So the day that I found out that we were going to get to move back here, I picked up the phone and I called the center. I actually called Jenny Hunsberg and I said, I'm moving back to South Bend and I really want to work there. Is there anything that I can do? And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, I will, address envelopes for you.
Right,
I'll
yeah.
answer phones, whatever. And so we just had a conversation, and she listened to me. She listened to who I am, the skills that I've gained throughout life, the skills that I gained from work and education, and found out, okay, this is what you're like. And you know what? I think that you need to have a conversation with our executive outreach director, Catherine Kelly. And so she set up an interview for me. She didn't have to. And, she could have said, oh, sure, you can address envelopes. But she took the time to get to know who I am and how I could make a difference. Not only how Women's Care Center could make a difference in my life, but how I could make a difference for Women's Care Center too. And so she really made that connection. So I got to have an interview with Catherine Kelly, and it went so well. And we found that, hey, this is going to be a great fit if I do this job here. And I think, honestly, professionally, that is the kindest thing anyone has ever done for me, was taking the time to really get to know who I am so that I could help make my dream come true.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. It's so clear, hearing you speak about all the services that Women's Care Center provides, the number of states that the Women's Care Center is in, the number of communities, and just where the organization is going with and leading. It's no surprise that this is a dream job. So thank you so much for coming on here, sharing a little bit more about Women's Care Centers. mission, and then also a little bit about your journey as well.
Of course. Yes. Thank you so much. It was great to have you here.
All right. Well, that's it for this week's episode of The Path Less Traveled with the Women's Care Center.